All right, guys, so here's a stepper motor over here and a servo motor. They're built into the hardware, so I have them running right now. This one's just slowly spinning. It'll go from 0 degrees over to the left to go 180, and it'll go back again. And then you'll basically fine-tune the speed settings and stuff for these, and how far you want them to turn. So we'll get that functionality built into Pinball Designer, and you'll have a code step to be able to change the speeds of the motors and the angles and everything, and you'll see it in real time. You should see this turn around here. Let's take a look. Come on. There it is. So it went back to 0 right there. So those just come right out of here. There's a servo port, and then there's support for 2 stepper motors right there. And that's pretty much it. One other thing to talk about as well is right here you see there's mods, clock, and data. So anytime an event happens, it will clock data out of this, and you could have a bunch of items connected to that line. That'd be for like a topper or something that wants to interact specifically with something. A lot of time people will build a mod and then they'll put it into like a switch. So if you hit like an inline drop targets and then you hit like the last switch, when that triggers, it goes to like a microcontroller to do something, which is kind of a hack. This actually you're plugging right into the board to get information about what is happening in the system. So if you get a packet that says number 1, maybe that's like jackpot. If it's number 2, then a player died. Number 3, a player started. If it's the number 4. So I'm clocking data to you, and if you have an Arduino or whatever, you would just respond to that data that I'm sending you. So you actually have explicit information about what's happening in the world, and you're having a lot of it. So if you're doing light shows for anything, like I said, if you start a game, you do certain lights, you die, you do something, maybe turn everything red and have some skeletons or something in Metallica or whatever. You got a ton you have as many GPIO pins as you want. So here's 7 through 1 here. By default, one of those is taken for the status LED. I'll plug that in real quick so you can just see it. 1 second. Yeah, so you'll see this flashes here. That's your status LED that this system's alive. And then from here, you can connect another cable to a bunch of these chips, and you can have infinite outputs. So if you want to have just like some kind of random thing that needs electricity, whether it's just a basic LED that's not an RGB or whatever. Again, anything. So over here as well, you got right here, that's your back box lights, which includes speaker lights, left and right cabinet lights. So those are in sync. They're controlled by the same data. So both the left and right sides are doing the same exact light show all the time. It's just how I designed it. There's your playfield lights. You'll plug those in there. And I'll actually just show you real quick. If I boot it up, you'll see they'll light up. 1 second here. So when you boot up the system, you'll get a bunch of lights that are on. So it just goes red, green, blue, red, green, blue, red, green, blue. This will just clock as many lights as it can. It's just to know that your strip is working when it's plugged in. And then once you connect to Pinball Designer, it's going to sync everything up. So this is just the playfield lights right here. So by default, there's probably nothing on when you start the game, maybe a couple things. It'll just shut everything down and sync it to the game. That's how you have it configured. Likewise, if you plug it into the other slots, I think it'll work at runtime. I'm not sure. So here I go. I'm going to plug this into the left cabinet slot. Right there. Yep. So they lit up. So they'll light up. As long as you're not connected to Pinball Designer, it's just a way for you to check your lights. So as soon as your system boots, all the lights should be on. And these don't run on full brightness. They're running on like 20%. So it's not going to burn everything out and run it at 100% or anything. So that's it, guys. Appreciate it. A couple other things on the board. I tested these. We got to start hooking into the MOSFETs and stuff. But over here, that 3, 4, 1, and 5, those are your ports for those 4 MOSFETs right there. Those will control your flippers. Those are direct access control for flippers. You can control flippers through the other boards that I have, but these are a little bit more efficient. You also have a port here that will go for a relay. So if you don't want your 48 volts to be running while the game is in attract mode, nobody's playing, it'll shut it down. I notice my stern, if I just leave it on, the fan starts kicking in and going crazy. I think that's because everything is running off that 48 volt supply, and then they bring it down to 5 volts or 3 volts for logic. So this one, you have a 5 volt power supply, and then this is just for the motor, but normally you have a 48 volt here. So this would be on, and then this would be connected through another relay. And the plug here would basically just not turn it in from the wall. So this is controlling it being plugged into the wall and actually having the power supply on or not. So that's an optional feature. You don't have to have that, but if you do, I'll probably ship with those for my games, just so your 48 volts is not running all day long. And there's the motor that I showed you earlier, just still running again. All right. That's it, guys.